I love you all too much to stay quiet. These are things I would have wanted to know, and I'm that person. I'm that older sister vibe. It's like advice I'd give you if I weren't afraid of hurting your feelings. And I thought I'd do that around back to school. I am opening up Instagram for the last time because I am just getting burned out on here. Trust me, I love creating, but consuming content is not my favorite. Do you know that I actually have 2 different Instagram profiles? At first, this was so that I can use one profile, social work scrapbook, to share all of my social work related things. And then my personal profile was to share like family, because I was really keeping that very, very separate. Now it's merging because I really just want to put out the fact that, hey, social workers are people. We are multifaceted. So you understand. And maybe you have 2 separate Instagram accounts, or am I just, I don't know, maybe that's just me, but I have 2. But what I found is I'm done. I cannot tell the difference between what's AI generated and what is not. My kids tell me all the time, like, Mom, that's not real or true. You got to look at this. So I'm like investigating each and every photo. It is a lot. But I don't know. Am I the only one feeling this way? I feel like I'm burning out with the social media thing. And then I've dove into the world of Facebook more so as a mom to a high schooler. All the clubs, organizations, the high school itself mainly communicates with families through Facebook. It's awkward. It's weird, but that's where I get all my information on what the school is doing, what events are coming out. So I feel like as a parent, I really need a Facebook account. But man, it is dating me, and it's also not a very lively feed. I didn't come here to rant about social media. I just came here to check because I had been seeing, I cannot remember. I know who I want to look up, and I follow this person. But, Elena is her name. There she is. She's a school. I'm not going to share more than that, but she's one of the persons that I first started following on Instagram way back when. She had made a post, and she does all the trendy posts. It's like advice I'd give you if I weren't afraid of hurting your feelings. And I love this because it's like that no nonsense advice. And I thought I'd do that around back to school. These are things I would have wanted to know. And I'm that person. I'm that older sister vibe that wants to, at this point, older Thea vibe that wants to kind of give you the edge on things. My first one is cut the Pinterest pressure. There is so much, and this is part of the reason why I love social media, but it's a love-hate. Honestly, it just gets me into overthinking everything. My hairstyle, my parenting style, everything, all the things. And there's so much pressure to be perfect on Pinterest. And as a recovering perfectionist, and I know I'm not the only one in the room right now, we don't need any of that. I love Pinterest. I think it has its place for vision boards and dream boards, and I use all of this for my manifestation, and I'm all into that. Don't get me twisted. However, especially if you are a newer school counselor or school social worker, or especially with our kids, they don't need the very perfect bento box with star-shaped sandwiches. No, they don't. You don't need color-coded command centers or anything like that to do your best work. I know it is tempting because you see these elaborate lunch boxes and bulletin boards, and it's easy to get carried away because honestly, those are busy tasks. Like if you're a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist like myself, those are the types of tasks that don't mean anything down the line, to be honest. So you don't need to build another elaborate bulletin board. It just doesn't have to be done. No one is judging you. Make sure you are prioritizing your own rest and your own sanity, because honestly and truthfully, our kids, our students care more about the mood and how you make them feel than your decor, than the lunchbox. They just need the lunch. Our kids are not going to remember those things. They are going to remember the feelings that we invoked in them. So as a parent, they really want us to be in the moment and a gentle presence. especially for school social workers or counselors or teachers, creating a safe space, because that's all the students and kids are going to remember at the end of the day. I mean, that's the thing we remember. If you share with me the person that has been the most impactful in your life, I doubt that you're going to share their organizational techniques. You've never peered into their agenda or their binders or any of their systems, other than the fact that this person made you feel seen, made you feel heard, gave you the space to be you. One thing I would do often as a school social worker is go into crisis interventions, and I would respond to deaths of faculty, deaths of students that would happen in my district. Unfortunately, we lost several teachers, several staff members, and the one thing I would hear from the students that were processing through their grief is the fact that this particular teacher or staff member always made them feel seen. They had a special handshake. They listened to them. These people were pillars in their lives that allowed them to feel special. My other piece of advice, if I wasn't afraid to hurt your feelings, do not expect smooth sailing in week 1. Just don't. It's a transition time. It's gonna be clunky. It's gonna not look so pretty because we are learning, even if you're going back to the same school or your students in the same school, it's still a transition. There's still gonna be newness. That's what I get so excited about, like August and fall time. That's really like my New Year's. It really feels like New Year's to me because it's like you're starting a brand new school year, new teachers. My oldest has already started band camp, and so his transition has already been a little bumpy into summer band because it's a brand new band. It's brand new students, and then the transition out of the older students that already knew what they were doing, right? So we say goodbye to all the seniors. On the other end of the spectrum, my youngest is going into 5th grade. So I could easily expect smooth sailing, right? He's in the same elementary school. What's to be expected? Well, I know for sure there's going to be a brand new principal, so that's going to come with some changes. And I know this because I have some insight, again, Facebook, thank you very much, in following his campus and kind of seeing what those updates are. But if you're not one of those parents, again, do not assume smooth sailing. Just don't assume it, because you know what assumptions do. ASSUME. When you start assuming, you make an ass of both you and me. My husband taught me that one, and it is honestly my go-to. I'm like, yep, I assumed. With these big transitions, moods are going to swing. Yours, your kids, your teachers. Moods will be swinging all over the place. It's to be expected as well. And routines are not going to be as static as we would like them to be, as crisp as we would like them to be. So accept it like the weather forecast. I think as soon as we let go of that expectation, that we allow ourselves to just ebb and flow with the natural movement of what a transition naturally is. There's ups, there's downs, and we end up figuring it out. That is true. Everything does work its way out in due time. But if you have that expectation that it's going to be exactly the way it was last year and there's nothing that should be different, then we are just setting ourselves up. And that moves me on to my next piece of advice. There is no medal for being a martyr. Like, stop. If you're skipping breakfast, if you're skipping sleep. And I'm talking to myself on this one because today, honestly, I put it into my chat GPT. Hey chat, this is what I've had to eat. And it's like, no wonder your mood is so low. Long story short, we can't expect ourselves to be fully functioning if we are skipping meals and just messing with our own hormone balance. So I did load into ChatGPT what I'd eaten. I'm in my luteal phase, so right away it said you need more calories during this time. So if you're trying to win a medal for not eating or being on the calorie deficit, that's not coming your way. In fact, you are going to crash. Of course, you're having mood swings. Of course, you're feeling depressed. Full transparency, yeah, I was literally in tears 10 minutes before because I'm like, I know it sounds silly now as I'm saying that, and I know it's gonna sound even sillier when I'm listening to this back, but it's true. I know I'm not the only one that goes through that moments where it's like, how do I pick myself up from the floor at this moment? Because everything is magnified, and it turns out that diet has a lot to do with that. All right, I want to just get into it a little bit more. I think I was playing it a little safe. One of my biggest pieces of advice is that you need to stop letting other people seep from your energy source. We are all energy beings, and I know we've heard the expression, you can't pour from an empty cup. And it's all true. All of it is true because we truly are energy and we cannot be wasting it. The cup does runneth dry. And I will say, if your energy is pretty low, it could be, the time of the month, as I was saying, or it could also just be, a hectic growing type of season, which happens for all of us. At certain times, we're going to go through some rough patches, but notice your energy levels, because honestly, if you show me the 5 people that you're hanging around the most, you become that as well. And if you're around a marigold, you're going to be better. You're going to feel better, feel lighter. So the marigold effect is the fact that marigolds are known as companion plants in gardening. So this means that they protect and encourage the growth in other plants around them. They do this by keeping pests away and just promoting healthy soil. And in the teaching world, the marigold effect refers to surrounding yourself, especially as a new teacher, especially when we're diving into a new school year, with positive, supportive people. And so now I do want to share the warning signs of walnut trees. Walnut trees, through their roots, release a chemical called juglone. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it is a chemical that can actually poison other vegetation, not allowing things to grow. In these schools we're about to head into, around the parents we're going to spend time with, and the groups we'll find ourselves around, there are also walnut trees in human form. And I want to run through a list, and we'll see. We know these people. I know these people. These are some of the best people. However, they have some traits that are stealing our energy, and we just need to be aware of what those traits are. And take note, these walnut trees in human form are constantly negative. These are your negative Nancys. They cannot find one positive thing about back to school. And honestly, misery loves company. So you got to be careful for this. It's kind of like a sneeze. It's contagious, right? Not a sneeze. I'm sorry. A yawn. It's like a yawn. Like if someone yawns, then it kind of is contagious, right? Other people yawn. Well, misery loves company. And when someone's a negative Nancy about something, you almost can't help it but join in on that. So be aware if you are doing that quite a lot, because you might be very close to a walnut tree. The next thing is that they're truly gatekeepers of information. They won't be sharing anything at all with anybody. They keep things very tight to the chest. So it's not a strong boundary. It's actually a toxic trait right there. The next trait is a lot of sarcasm or being dismissive, right, of people's feelings. Now, this one's hard for me. I'm sarcastic. I love a good dry humor, but there comes to a level where if someone is truly trying to share what's going on, and instead of listening with empathy, I'm being sarcastic or dismissing their feelings, trying to one-up them with my own sob stories, that doesn't help the situation. And that truly might feel like they're listening, but at the same time, they're not really empathizing. The next 2 traits of a walnut tree in human form is someone that's competitive in unspoken ways. So they're not going to admit, but there's like this subconscious hope that you will fail because they're competitive, because they don't want to see it done, because it's never been done. So you got to be careful. These are the types of people you want to be careful you're sharing your hopes and dreams with, because they'll quickly squash those hopes. They can stunt your growth if you're not careful. I'm urging you to really check in on your energy after being around people. And if you feel that energy dip, if you feel just your joy, your creativity, even your confidence dip, take note of that, right? Watch where those patterns start popping up. I know this is a funny analogy, but I really like it because I love nature, in all honesty. And when I think of just gently easing into a new school year, it comes with a lot of excitement. And I don't want to bust that bubble. A lot of kids are excited to go back to school. Please don't assume, and don't be your kid's walnut tree. Please don't be a walnut tree for your kids. Do not mix your own school experience with what your child might be experiencing. And this goes both ways, because a lot of times, I've mentioned before that I despised my middle school years, but my son didn't. My eldest has gone through middle school and really did well throughout his middle school years. He made some great friends. He was involved. It wasn't my middle school experience. Could I have tainted his middle school experience by sharing and being a walnut tree and kind of making everything a huge deal and drama and catastrophizing things? Sure. But his experience is not my experience, which I'm happy for. And I say this just to remind you, as parents, as school social workers, school counselors, those that have the attention and ears of younger people, don't let your experience, don't become that old experience walnut tree that really hinders what they're excited for school. Because trust me, working in school social work at all different grade levels, the beginning of school is exciting for all students, even those that hate school. There is just this hope, kind of like the new year in January. Even if we're having a tough year, it's a fresh slate. Everyone is hoping for a fresh, brand new slate. And for one day out of the school year, usually the first day, that is available to all kids, all students. There's just that little glimmer that, hey, this could be a new start to be who I want to be, to try something new. It's so special that I've had so many conversations with students in our sessions in the past, students that you wouldn't assume are wanting to try to pick up their grades and make more friends. Like our kids know, they have such good insight and they know what they need to do. So if you're a parent hoping that your son or daughter makes new friends or needs to be more social, I can guarantee you that they're feeling the same way. And there is a little spark of hope right in the beginning of the year that possibly this can happen. We as parents just have to be gentle in how we ease into this year. Allow them to hope and dream. Don't doubt any of their wishes or hopes. Set them up for the best day that they can have. Yes, there's going to be bumps in the road and it might not be the smoothest. We don't want to expect the smoothest or be Pollyanna, but we do not want to squash hope. And I think that's super important. That's something that if you're not squashing hope, then you're doing things right. Because far too many times I've seen a student really want to try something new and a parent will come to rescue, sometimes with the greatest of intentions. Like the parent's own anxiety gets in the way of like, what if this? What if they're late? What if they're not ready for the first day? I'll take them the second day. And like our own stuff gets mixed in there when our student is really ready, when our child is really ready to take a leap of faith and move with hope and intention, but our own stuff gets in the way where we thwart that. Our insecurities are now like transferred to them, and they pick up on that so well because they're very attuned. They're very insightful. Kids in general can pick up on so many messages, even if you don't say it aloud. If you are kind of bringing that energy of indecisiveness, or maybe I shouldn't take them today, or hey, we're already running late, we'll just skip the first day. That's like the worst thing you can do. Let them put one foot in front of the other, and it's going to be tough at first because just like walking, it isn't easy. But once they find their stride, boy, oh boy, does it get easier. And then you get to watch them run, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. And I say this as a clinician that has worked with many students with all types of anxieties and depressions and barriers on their side that they've been able to overcome. And then with kids of my own that have also had their own ups and downs. And now I'm going to just slip one in here for the school social workers, school counselors out there. We truly need to learn how to delegate. If you keep doing everything for everyone, no one else learns how to do it without you. And trust me, the school social work, school counseling office will go on without you. And you don't want to enable everyone in the building. I know it's nice to have people depending on us or have people wanting us to help or feeling a part of something. But in all honesty, we need to delegate. We don't need to be in every single thing. Let other people struggle and figure it out and wonder how you're doing it and come and ask you. They will ask you. However, help them out. Do not enable. And I know the social workers know this, counselors as well. If we're enabling people, we aren't truly seeing their strength, seeing their autonomy. We need to allow them to learn. Our need, your need to be needed is not a personality trait. It's a burnout strategy in disguise. So please, this year, learn to delegate. You can't keep saying yes to every single thing. And I know you want to seem nice and you want to do the right thing. And if you don't do it, then this, that, and the other. But in all honesty, you can say no to a few things, because saying no to something honestly means saying yes to yourself, or yes to your kids or your family or something important. Every yes is actually a decision, and it takes away from another. So just say no. So I hope that these tips, these little bits of advice, these tangents that I've gone through have helped land somewhere softly in your heart, on your mind, to help you ease into what's going to be a fantastic school year. Each school year is, honestly, even the hardest ones have taught me the most, and I'm wishing you the best. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been fun. Make sure you subscribe if you found this helpful. Share it with another, and I'll talk to you soon.